Hello and welcome to a new video. I just finished my 14th sketchbook recently, which means it is time for a new one, which I'm very excited about. It is a smaller one. It's the same brand, Leuchtturm 1917. It is one of my favourite brands of all time. I think I can safely say I will always recommend it. This one is slightly smaller than the previous one, which I am excited to try out just because I think the other ones are very big, so I was looking forward to trying something a little smaller. So for this video I thought it might be fun to try to design the title page for this one. And as you saw a minute ago, I ended the last sketchbook in a little bit of a cowboy mood, so I thought I'd do something cowboy related for this one. And I'm just showing you this book. It comes with a bunch of labels that you can use to stick on the cover of your book, and also a back pocket. So I'm putting, one of the things I look forward to the most sometimes is putting the stickers on my front cover. So here are a bunch of stickers from lots of artists that I really love, and I've just placed them on my front cover, and I will tag the artists on the screen. And then I wanted to put something on the back of my book as well. I was going to put multiple things, but then decided to just stick with one, just because I've covered the front cover, so leaving the back cover mostly naked means I can cover it as I progress through the sketchbook. Next I wanted to just cover it with some Posca, just to put the number of the sketchbook and just decorate it a little bit. This is something I really like to do with my sketchbooks. It just makes them look a little prettier but also more personalised. So I'm just putting on the word sketchbook, trying to make it look a little higgledy-piggledy, just because I did kind of squeeze it into a weird shape, so I'm just trying to embrace that a little bit. And Posca pens are great for stuff like this. They do last really well. They can rub off quite easily, and obviously if you get them wet they will rub off too, but it's really easy. You can just like fix them if you need to, but usually I just put it on the first time I start the book and then touch it up a little bit when I have finished the sketchbook, just so that it looks nice when I come back to it later. But yeah, I'm just adding a bunch of sparkles because, you know me, I love sparkles everywhere. And I just wanted it to look really nice and colourful, so I decided to go for some pinks and purples just to accent the book, because it is a nice yellow. Probably yellow might be my favourite colour of sketchbooks, so that's why I have quite a few of them. But yeah, so I just thought this might look quite a nice contrast. And it shows up quite light on the camera, like it's darker in person. It's a little hard to see, but yeah. So then I'm also just putting it on the spine of the sketchbook just so I can see it easier, and just adding another sparkle just to make it look pretty. Yeah, and I really like the cover. Like I said, I will tag the artists now probably, but yeah, that is just how my cover looks like, and I love it. I think it's so cute, and I think the square layout is perfect, and I'm excited to get started with it. So yeah, the sketchbooks always start with this page that has you can put your information on it, please return to blah blah blah, and it usually has the next page is kind of stuck a little bit to that front one, so I always use that one to plan out what I want my kind of title page to be. So I'm just starting off with a couple thumbnails, and like I said, I was in a cowboy mood, so I thought I really wanted to draw my cowboy clay. And as I was doing this, I realised it's a shame I didn't do this for my 14th book, because this is my 15th one instead now, because I realised, or I remembered, that for my 4th sketchbook, which is the first one I did a sketchbook tour for, I also had the title page be a cowboy, and I thought it might be cute to show like 10 sketchbooks later how it's so much different. And I might even throw up on the screen now just a picture of what that first title page looked like, because that was when I first properly started doing sketchbooks. Like I had loads of sketchbooks before, but I always left them half finished, and that was the first one that I properly wanted to finish and put effort into. And that is probably because of drawing with waffles. She really inspired me and made me want to actually do a sketchbook, so I did, and yeah, that was just really cute. So for my second one, in a previous video, in my oil pastel video, I was looking at my animal creatures and just drawing them again, so that creepy bird was on my mind, and I thought I might try something with them, just because it's good to do multiple thumbnails, even if you're sure that you want to do the first one. Having multiple ideas can't hurt, and you know, you might find something you like more that you're glad you experimented with. So yeah, that's why I've got the bird one here as well, and I just thought I'd lean into the cultness of this bird, because the whole thing is that they're supposed to be summoning a devil, so there is a pentagram and some candles, and I think I even put some fairy lights up, so just to make it look a bit more interesting. I knew I wasn't really going to go with that one though, although I do kind of like the whole their face again but in the foreground really big. It just looks kind of funny. And then the last one, I obviously had to experiment with my girl Cara, just because she's my favourite, she's my OC. I love her so much, and I needed to try something with her just in case. But yeah, I don't end up with going with her. I choose to do the cowboy just because I was in a cowboy mood, and it would just look really cute having the clouds as a background, and I was really excited to paint them because I've been looking at some references for clouds recently for something else, a personal project, so it was on my mind and I thought I could do it. So yeah, this is the first page, and now I just need to get the rough sketch down. It doesn't need to look perfect, and I like to do this in coloured pencil just because when you are putting wet media over it, the coloured pencil either disappears or just blends into the media, rather than if it was just a graphite pencil, it could muddy up or darken the colours, which is something I don't like, and I just really didn't want to do. So yeah, this is just a rough sketch of him, and I do quite like how the sketch looks. I do think maybe his eye is a bit messed up, but it also looks okay. Yeah, so by this point I had already been using this sketchbook, and I had been doing a load of gouache paintings, so I'd also done some in my previous book. Gouache has been on my mind a lot recently, so I decided to paint him with gouache, and I'm glad I did. I've been practicing a lot with it just by virtue of using it, and I think I understand gouache a lot better now. Like, I used to really struggle, I didn't know how to use it, but I think I get it, and I've been having so much fun with it. Literally, I've been painting so much with it. I recently did a Pacific Rim double page painting, which took so long. I've been doing that for over a week now, and I just finished it, thankfully. Now I can continue using my sketchbook, because while it is fun to do paintings in your sketchbook, I find that I'm usually then not drawing for the whole time I'm doing the painting, because obviously if I want to do the drawings in the sketchbook I can't, because there's a painting that's either wet or half finished and I need to finish it. So yeah, I've only recently started drawing again since painting that, but yeah, I think I figured it out. I find that it helps to put down a sort of almost watercolour wash. It is just watered down gouache as a base sometimes, and then build up on top of it, just to give me an idea of the colour scheme and where I want everything to go. But then also, because they can be quite a transparent material like watercolour, having a colour underneath it means that any colour you put on top of it is more likely to have hues of the colour beneath it in it, if that makes sense. So it can look a bit more cohesive by putting an undercoat. But then, because of how gouache are, if you do it thick enough, you can completely cover up what's beneath it, which it just fascinates me, I guess. I usually work primarily in acrylics, and I'm good with them, or at least I understand how to use them. I've tried using them recently and I think I've forgotten, but yeah, so switching from acrylics to gouache was like so confusing, but now the whole making them thicker means they can cover things, reminds me of using acrylics, and I think it's just clicked in my brain. I also think nothing I just said made sense. I think I was just rambling for a bit, but I'm basically just trying to say that I've been practicing with gouache, and I think it might have become my favourite medium recently, especially since you can easily use coloured pencils over the top and they can look so good together. That's not to say you can't use coloured pencils with other mediums like watercolour, or, well, can you use it over acrylic? I suppose I've never tried. It might be quite hard because acrylic dries almost like plastic kind of thing. But yeah, basically, to stop rambling, I'm really loving gouache, and I am glad that I painted this with gouache, and also pleased because I was concerned that it could bleed through to the other side because it can get really wet sometimes. But even when I have like completely saturated pages in this book with like a ton of water, the colour doesn't bleed through, and that is like one of the things I really like about this sketchbook is that. Previously they were 180 GM or GSM, which meant that they were really, really thick, and it was like almost impossible for things to bleed through them. I think alcohol markers might have, but that's because it's almost impossible for alcohol markers not to bleed through anything. But they recently switched their sketchbooks to 140 or 150, and I will admit I was really concerned because like I said, I love this brand, so I was really worried that I would hate that their paper was now thinner. But 140 or 50 is actually like still really, really thick paper. So I'm really happy that I still love this brand and I can keep using it. I keep going on about it like they've sponsored me or something. This is not sponsored. I just want you guys to know how much I love this brand. They aren't on the cheap side. They can range from like 20 to maybe even £28. But considering how many pages you get and how thick the paper is, I would say it is 100% worth it. Especially since like my last sketchbook before this one, you can see, it took me like 7 months to fill. So I would say that is 100% worth it. To be fair, I don't usually take that long to fill sketchbooks, but for the last one, my mental health was in a dodgy place, so I was like, I need to slow down and just not put the pressure of making art on me the same way I used to. So I decided to just take my time with everything, and it really helped. And like, my art developed to the point where I am incredibly happy with it, more so than I think I've been in a long time. So I'm really happy I just decided to listen to myself and figure out what exactly it was I needed. But I just realised I've gone on a huge tangent and I haven't actually been talking about what I've been doing at all. So you can see that I put a wash down earlier and I used it as a base for the clouds, which helped because it then meant that there was substance to the clouds, and filling in the sky afterwards meant that the clouds looked better. Like, I wanted the colour I'd put down to be the main colour of the clouds, so then I could put a darker colour in the background. I don't know what I'm talking about, honestly. Anyway, yes, so even though I really liked how the clouds looked, I needed to put the number down because that was the whole point of doing a title page. And I didn't initially know what colour I wanted to do, just because I kind of had a sort of colour scheme going, but I needed it to be dark. I suppose I could have gone for a really dark purple, but I don't have one in my colour palette. It is quite light in comparison, so I think it would have blended into the sky. So I ended up going with this blue that I also used as a line art on him in some places. And I think it was a good choice, although I did kind of mess up the 5. I suppose 5s are like S's in that they can be really difficult to do big chunky versions of them. I really struggle with them, which is why it looks a bit goofy. Yeah, so then at the end I just went in and touched everything up with coloured pencil, just because it needed defining, things needed standing out, and just extra details. And yeah, it needed it. So my overall thoughts are, I really like this page. I really love the colour scheme. It kind of gives Barbie vibes in a way. Just I think the colour scheme, and because he is blonde and there's a lot of pinks going on, I really do like it. Especially with how the clouds sort of merge down over here. The eyes, I think, are perhaps a little too big, but I don't hate it. And also I really like just the contrast of the bright pink sun up here, even though it doesn't make sense. I think it's cute. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I then put the date in because I forgot it needed to have a date, because that was the point. So thankfully, because I'd put this blue bar here, it fit perfectly. But yeah, so I have put some little things on this side since, just because I like to fill up this page as I go. I've probably filled it up too much because, like I said, I'm not used to working in a book this small. I haven't worked in something this small for a very long time. So yeah, I've just put like this Hannibal sticker, this cute art that Shay drew for me when I bought from her shop, which I am obsessed with. I love it so much, and I thought it would be perfect because she drew my horses, and I thought it would be really nice to have it on the same page with the cowboy. And then, like I said, I have been into Pacific Rim again recently, so I put one of my old drawings of Striker Eureka. In fact, I don't think I was going to post it. I could just show you. Yeah, this is the painting I did for it. It took a long time. I wanted it to have like a colour gradient, almost like a rainbow, but I kind of lost it a little bit. But yeah, it's got it over here, which I really like. But yeah, it's just Strike Eureka, which is my favourite, Jaeger, and then Marco, Chuck, and Riley, just because I love them all and I wanted to show it off. I wanted to paint something for them. And yeah, this is using gouache as well, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I've since sprayed it with a fixative, same as this one. This one also has a fixative on it, which I just got concerned. I didn't want it to smudge. So yes, that is it for the first page of this sketchbook. I'm sorry I kind of rambled. I think this one might be a bit of a mess, but I just thought it might be fun to show you guys. And yeah, so thank you if you watched this video. I know it's a bit messy and I haven't really done anything just for myself on this channel for a while. It's been a lot of collaborations. I think the last video will have been the collaboration with the coffee bean, and the next video should be, hopefully, the next video, or one of the next videos, will be this sketchbook tour, because I finished the previous one, as you know, so I know a lot of you have been waiting for another sketchbook tour, and I've just been deliberately making you wait. So this will be one of the next few videos. I'm actually about to record this one in a minute. I also have another collaboration video with a company coming up soon, but for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. And I want to say a big thank you to my Patreons: Disby, Magin Pauly, Megan Palmer, Grim Clow, Lily M, Bailey, Non-Toxic, Saint Nick's, LP, Parker, and Calcifer Sparks 4. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.